Let me tell you how I started my training at the Arthur Murray Dance Studio of Fifth Avenue. I was so scared because in Iran, holding a girl in your arms is a big no-no. They dance separately. So I paced Fifth Avenue back and forth till I finally got the nerve and courage to take the elevator and go up to the fourth floor. I entered and the receptionist asked me, "What are you here for?" I said, "To learn to dance." She said, "What dances are you interested in?" I said, "I don't know anything about any dances. All I know is waltz, tango, and foxtrot." She said, "Don't worry about it. Your teacher will dance with you, and then he will tell you what dances you should be working on." They enrolled me on a student get started program, and there started my dancing career at Arthur Murray's. The studio on Fifth Avenue was beautiful. It had a crystal chandelier, a lounge, and a sitting room, all the comforts of home, and here I was, little orphan Annie, who couldn't dance. The studio was a fun place to be at, and who makes it fun? The people, the instructors. There was an instructor whose name was George Sardi, and he was so much fun. He wanted to dance and outdance his partners just because it was fun to dance. I'll never forget that he and I danced together, and during rehearsals we used to practice to see who could kick higher, he or me. And then one day, out of the clear, my teacher announced to me that I should be a teacher because I learned very fast and I'm very enthusiastic about everything. When he went and told that to our manager, Mr. Victor said, "Never in this world. She's too shy and she's not going to make it." So I answered him and I said, "You don't pay me for training me anyway, so you get me for nothing. So what difference does it make?" Mr. Victor put me into training class and started training me to be a teacher. And I graduated ahead of everyone else only because I have a very good memory. After I graduated, I hobnobbed with a lot of other teachers who were from Broadway and other shows, and they were impressive dancers. Some of the dancers I worked with were the best in the business, i.e. Tat Tadlock. She was not only beautiful, she was talented, she could dance, she smiled, she lit up the stage, she was a phenomenal performer. Gloria Hamilton was a regular on the Arthur Murray show, and it was fun working with her because she felt comfortable on the stage. Next talented dancer was Tom Hansen, with whom I danced. He had his own show, and it was a wonderful show, and he was a great young man who went very far in his dancing career. Claire Gunderman was a regular on the Arthur Murray show always, and people were looking forward to seeing her perform. The next dancer I worked with was George Sardi. He was a fun person, good dancer, and next he had his own show. It was a talk show, not a dance show, but we danced together at the Plaza Hotel. The next talented dancer that I worked with was Beatrice Kraft, who was known for her exotic style of dancing. last but not least, our casting director, Billy Vo, who chose the people for the appropriate segments of the show. Things were going very well for me till one day, lo and behold, I was called into the manager's office, Mr. Charlie Charles, and he announced to me that even though I was talented, I was not cut out for the dance business because I was too shy. So I asked him, may I go to the other Arthur Murray studio? There were two studios in New York. One of them was on Madison Avenue and 43rd Street, 11 East 43rd Street. He said, why, of course. Thinking that no one would hire me, I trotted off to 43rd Street. I met Mr. Murray in person, who always greeted all the newcomers. He asked me what made me leave Fifth Avenue, and I told him very proudly, I did not leave. I was fired because I am too shy and I can't sell. Mr. Murray looked at me and laughed and said, I am shy too, and I will never fire you for being shy. And what does my sign say on the door? It says Arthur Murray School of Dance, does not say Arthur Murray School of Sales. Therefore, you were in the right place at the right time. A lot of people ask me my impression of Mr. Arthur Murray, and I could tell you that Mr. Arthur Murray was a business genius. He invented the footprints that you cut out and put on the floor, and thus you have the step patterns. He also introduced franchising. He taught Mr. Howard Johnson how to go into business to be a franchise, and he was absolutely wonderful about everything like that. But he had one weakness. Maybe that's his strength. He liked buxom blondes, and there were not very many of those, but he chose them very carefully. Even though yours truly is not a buxom blonde, I still stayed in his favor, and he had a lesson with me every day. I'm not sure whether he thought he was helping me or I was helping him. Whatever it is, the two of us danced every day for 1 hour. Mrs. Murray was the personality of the show. She stole the show every time she appeared. She was so bubbly and happy. Mr. Murray was the businessman, and he created deals that you couldn't refuse. I had very happy memory of Mr. and Mrs. Murray because when they retired, they kept in touch via letter or by telephone. And it was so refreshing to know that your bosses loved you for you and remembered you. To authenticate the fact that this really happened, that I was on the show with Mr. Arthur Murray, there's a photograph of me on a record called Music for Dancing, and that record reminds me of my youth and the days I danced the night away with Arthur Murray.